everyone, Adam here, So Wizard Podcast. I have another review for you today. Once again, the awesome people at Amazon were kind enough to send us over a look at their new season, of their new series, Hollywood Houselift with Jeff Lewis. Hollywood Houselift debuts June 10th on Amazon FreeVee, which is the new name for IMDb TV, which is a free streaming platform with ads. So you can check it out, no cost to you. Anyway, what is Hollywood Houselift? Well, if you know the name Jeff Lewis, I guess he's been in the real estate game forever. It was new to me, but I was interested because I'm also, dabble in real estate. I do it on the side. He had a show called Flipping Out, which I'm guessing based on the name and the little bit I read, was more a straightforward house flipping show, which you've seen a billion times. If you've ever put on HGTV, it's about all they run. But Hollywood Houselift focuses more on the design side of things. Jeff Lewis is a house designer, or an interior designer. In the first season of Hollywood Houselift, he's not building anything from scratch. He's redoing and really enhancing existing spaces. So since I had seen so many of these shows on HGTV, when I was first getting into flipping, I thought, hey, why not? There's got to be some real information here, even though it's reality TV. And as far as the HGTV of it all goes, that's absolutely incorrect. If you're looking into getting the real estate market, if you're looking into flipping houses, don't watch any of those shows expecting you're going to get anything beneficial out of it. I guess that being said, if you're more of a normal person that lives anywhere in America other than Los Angeles, you're probably not going to get a lot of takeaways from the Jeff Lewis show either, but the guy does have a really awesome eye for design. The designs in the show are absolutely top-notch, and they should be, because some of the budgets they talk about are outrageous. And again, to keep making parallels to HGTV, it's really the only name in the house flipping renovation game. This old house had some stuff, but they actually gave you real information. But Jeff Lewis is in Los Angeles. He's dealing with celebrity clientele. And that's actually part of the draw of the show, is that there are faces and names you will recognize. And these are also people working in show business, which we all know can be fairly lucrative. So for them to have $100,000 to $130,000 to renovate a bathroom that's probably half the size of my house, that kind of makes sense. It always drove me crazy watching HGTV when it's a young couple. They're like 25 years old. They just got married. She makes beaded glass jewelry, and he makes artisan cheeses from goat's milk, and they have a starting budget of $1.6 million. It makes no sense. In this, it makes total sense. You could follow it, and you can see where it's going. Something else I appreciate about this one compared to some of the other ones is that they don't spend a ton of time on price. They're not giving you graphic breakdowns of what things cost, and they're not just jumping into things with essentially a blank checkbook, even though they're dealing with higher budgets. They're planning things. They're trying to stick to a budget. They're trying to stick to a time frame, and you do get a glimpse of that project management, and those aspects of it rang truer to me than any other versions I had seen, even though another aspect of the show that I appreciated was it does show difficulty in the projects. Now, Jeff isn't there hands-on ripping down wallpaper and, sanding sheetrock and hanging fixtures. He's managing the project. He has contractors he works with, and there's no illusion that they get a house done in a weekend, because when they cut, they bring in like 75 day laborers to knock it out. It was also interesting seeing how he handles clients and client expectations, as well as other contractors. One of his clients had another designer who was in there who they kind of butt heads, not really in what they wanted to do as much as kind of a pissing contest. It's kind of a crude way to put it, but this was an existing designer that another designer's brought in. Of course, it's kind of a territorial thing. It's just, one small example. The aspect of the show that didn't really grab me so much was, in all of these reality shows, they go into the person's personal life. That might be why you're going to watch it. You might say the designs are cool, but I really want to see what's going on with Jeff, and, he's got things going on in his personal life that are outside of real estate, because there is actually a story thread with him in the real estate world of his personal life that I enjoyed, because it kind of shows he is into this world, he practices what he preaches, and he's not doing anything for other people he wouldn't do for himself. But another story thread that was more personal to him No offense to him. I mean, just based on this show, he seems like a fine person, but I just didn't care. I'm not watching a Houselift program for him to talk about his family life. It's kind of the reality TV of it all. It happens in most reality TV shows. I don't watch a lot of reality TV, but, you know, it's been around long enough that we all kind of know what we're getting at. I planned on watching 3 episodes is kind of my rule of thumb for something that maybe doesn't grab me or I'm not super into, you know, say something like a romantic comedy. I know I'm not the target audience, but I will give it 3 episodes to objectively look at the story and the writing and how it's shot and the acting and things like that. Those metrics don't exactly apply here because it is reality TV, or at least unscripted TV is probably a better word for it, but you do like the people on the team. Jeff has a team of people around him that he works with, and I liked their personalities. I liked how it gelled, and I liked that there was some talk of maybe not business missteps, but where one person or another felt spurned and how they kind of dealt with it. It's all good information to have. I mean, I guess just for business in general, but especially if you are dabbling or looking to dabble in the world of real estate, which is an insane time to get into it right now, but... So there is some truth peeking through the reality TV facade that I saw there. And to kind of play devil's advocate a little bit and to, you know, in the name of being objective, even the story threads I didn't like were not over dramatized. There's no huge tonal music and then a cut to commercial break and, oh, what's Jeff gonna do about this? Like, they really kept that to a minimum. It was kind of just like just the facts TV. It goes on with the story, it goes on with the builds, it goes on with the projects, it goes on with dealing with contractors. There are cuts for commercial breaks because it's on FreeVee and that's how they pay to run the service, but that's not a big deal. What drives me nuts is when they have this fake drama built into these shows when I can't imagine anyone's actually tuning in for that. But I just didn't get the impression from this show that that's the kind of thing they were going for, and I didn't get the impression from this show that that level of it was faked. I'm sure there's some setup things. I'm sure there's some editing choices that make things appear a little bit more dramatic than they are, but it was not done with such a heavy hand that it drove me crazy. As I said, Hollywood Houselift with Jeff Lewis comes out Friday, June 10th on FreeVee, with a new episode coming out every week until the end of July. If you're into house flipping shows, check it out. If you want to be into house flipping shows, but the HGTV series really have put you off it because of their ridiculousness and their over top and their just complete lack of believability, this one does things different enough that it's interesting to check out, and it's not overproduced and overdeveloped and not wasting money on a bunch of stupid CG graphics and things that you just don't need. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. We have a lot more Amazon coverage, a lot more indie coverage, a lot more comic coverage, interviews, unboxings, everything you love coming your way. You're not going to want to miss out. Also, make sure you listen to So Is Her Podcast every single week wherever you get your podcasts. So Is Her Podcast can also be found on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you get multiple monthly bonus shows, both audio and video. SoIsHerPodcast.com is your resource for reviews, recommendations, videos, merchandise, and more. We love hearing feedback, so drop us a note in the comments, leave us something on social media. All the accounts can be found after the show and in the show notes. And on a more personal note, a good friend and I have an ongoing comedy comic series. It's called Social Studies. It's a kind of a coming-of-age / slice of life comedy, as I said, a comic, where it's a group of kids in high school dealing with all the insanity of high school. You know, we all went there, we've all been through it, we all know how insane things got, and looking back, everything seemed like a much bigger deal than it was, and we like to kind of take that with a tongue-in-cheek approach. It's part autobiography, part wish fulfillment. We write it like a sitcom, and we style it after 90s cartoons that we grew up on, love, and inspired us. You can find 9 issues currently available, 10 and 11 coming any day now from the printers, 12 is going to the printers any day now, and 13 is underway, so plenty of content for you to check out at socialstudiescomic.com or on Comixology, including Comixology Unlimited. Thanks.